I woke up this afternoon to absolutely stunning weather here in Kotor. So I'm gonna go hike up the hill again, fly Fido at the church, and then maybe shoot some iconic images here of the town. One of the weirdest things about doing this night shift thing is having pizza for breakfast at 5 in the afternoon. That's just something I'll never get used to. What else is weird is the weather. Remember like a minute ago when I was like, the weather's beautiful? Well, it's clouded over and it was just pouring. You can't fly a drone in the rain. It will fall out of the sky. I'm gonna climb back up there and wish for the best. Fido's back there under a rain cover. I'm really not prepared for the rain at all. Worst case scenario, I'll get a shower. Made it to the church? I know you guys are probably thinking like, Brendan, you've been to this church every single day you've been in Kotor. Is there anything else to see in town? And yeah, there definitely is. I just love this church and wanted to fly Fido here. But I do love this church. If I ever get married, it's gonna be here in this church. And all the guests are gonna have to climb up the hill. And by then I'll probably be like 65, so everybody will be really old, like grandma will complain. And I'll be like, damn, grandma, it's 2050, just get some bionic legs or something. That was amazing. How cool was that? I think that might have been my favorite flight of all time. Actually, no, that definitely was my favorite flight of all time. If the footage comes out as cool as I think it did, as cool as it looked on my phone as I was flying, that was some cool ass footage. To those of you that are new to cinematography or videography or flying drones, one really important thing to remember when you're shooting is an effect called the parallax effect. Essentially what the parallax effect is when you have an element in the foreground of your footage and something in the background. That element in the foreground of your footage is going to look like it's moving really fast because it's closer to your camera, and then the background's going to move nice and slow. It gives a beautiful cinematic look to the shots. This was the perfect place to use the parallax effect. I had the castle walls or the fortress walls, I had the church, and I had some other elements in the shots as well that really pushed that effect, and I'm so stoked about how this shot came out. The sun's starting to come down. I see some beautiful light on those mountains back there, so I'm gonna hike a little bit higher up into the fortress and try to shoot some classic photography here of Kotor. So I was kind of perched up here waiting for the sun. I was hoping the sun would hit that horizon and I could kind of star it. I thought that would make a cool element to this beautiful scene here. But a cloud kind of got in my way and ruined things, but that's okay. This scene in general is just beautiful. You've got the castle or fortress walls here. You've got the old town down there, the lake, and just like this ridiculous light right now coming through and hitting this mountain. This light right here is perfect. But I'm not really in the perfect spot to capture it, and it tells me that one of these days I've got to climb that mountain opposite of me to catch that at sunset. I'm shooting some time lapse right now because the cruise ship's leaving and I think the time lapse will look really cool. And then I'm heading down, maybe down like halfway down, because there's like this church that's perched up on a ledge with Old Town and the lake behind it, and I think that'll make a phenomenal photo. So once the cruise ship leaves, I'm gonna book it down there and try to capture that scene. The way the light is right now, if the light sticks around like this for a while, I'm gonna have some fun tonight. So the light kind of went flat on me there. The clouds all just completely disappeared. The weather's crazy today, crazy. But you can't win them all, and it was still a cool location. I'm on my way down to the Old Town again here in Kotor. It's pitch black out, as you can see, but we're about 10-15 minutes away from what we call the blue hour, and that's essentially dawn. There's a lot of different ways of putting it, but it's essentially dawn. Pre-sunrise, you get nice even light, and that's a really good time of day to photograph architecture, especially if that architecture is lit up as the old towns of cities tend to be. So there's one location in specific that I really want to shoot. That's like a bridge and then the gate to the old town. And then maybe one or two of the cathedrals inside Old Town. And that's how I'm gonna wrap up my day here. I'm absolutely loving this night shift idea that I've started working. I've been so productive at night. I've been getting so much more work done. I haven't been feeling the need to nap. I haven't had any wasted time. If you're a photographer in the summertime and you're trying to make the most out of your time, this is a great idea. It's been working really well for me. Okay, so that was pretty good, even though there wasn't really any clouds in the sky. If you get that blue light, it can really make some interesting photos. I don't have my tripod, as you guys know, which makes things a little bit difficult, but I've got this GorillaPod. You see this little Joby? And it was actually probably to my advantage today because I could get it right down on the ground and get some really low angle shots, which was cool. If you are a photographer or a videographer, get one of these Jobies, these little GorillaPods. They're just so handy. I use it a lot for time lapse with the GoPro, maybe even as a selfie stick, shooting video, and it really works out cool. So guys, I'm calling it a day for me. I know it's weird calling a day at 6 in the morning, or actually it's like 5:30 in the morning, but that's how it's going on the night shift. And I'll see you guys tomorrow. I've got another awesome day planned here in Kotor, Montenegro. I'm having such a good time in this city. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Peace. On the water with those reflections that I can kind of see through the trees here. And this could be really cool.